Oh, you would not believe the day that I had. I mean, first I was in Scotland. I mean, it was supposed to be Norway, but that's movie magic for you. And then I had these Land Rovers or Land Cruisers or Defenders, I don't know what they were, chasing me. There were motorcycles, explosions. I was in the forest. It's just been a bad day. Can I get a ride?
I'd really like to help you, but I I have groceries and I have no room.
So, really, a toilet paper pandemic joke? I mean, that's going to date as successfully as Taylor Swift.
Well, I really got to go. So back it up before I run over your foot. The good one.
Hey, 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 hey! That that's not a family car. Hello, David Zritsky for the Bond Experience. Welcome back. What am I doing in this forestal type setting? Well, it makes a lot of sense because this is the setting that Bond finds himself. We believe it's Norway. They used also Scotland for some of the pickup scenes, but this is to talk about the Massimo Alba raincoat, the raincoat in sage. And we're going to talk a lot about the details of this, the fit, what I feel about it, the connection. Yes, this is going to be incredibly detailed. And we had to have a little fun with that opening. But let's talk about the coat itself as we've seen it in No Time to Die. It's really specific blink and you miss it moments. So don't blink when you look at this. All right, so we've got to describe this particular coat. So first of all, we have to come up close, and this ambient light is perfect for this. But you can see that this is a very thin whaled cord, extremely thin actually. And that serves a really incredible purpose because if I come back here where you can see a wide shot of this, you'll see me kind of do this kind of Western type of flap. That is the movement. And you see that in the film. Clearly there's action, there's Bond sitting in different vehicles, could be multiple vehicles, could be an Aston Martin, could be a Land Cruiser, could be a lot of different vehicles that he's popping in and out of. So they had to have something that flowed very, very well. But my gosh, tell me this doesn't look like something out of a Western, the way this thing is moving. Now, we've got to talk about some of these details as we always do. First of all, I am a size 40 up here, a 31-inch waist. Yes, even during the pandemic, I'm trying. And this is a size 48. Now, typically, I would take a 50. All right, and it's an important discussion because I needed to size down for this, just like I needed to size down for the sloop suit. Okay, if you remember, we did the Massimo Alba sloop suit and I took a size 48. The shoulders are perfect in this. I'm so glad I got a 48 and not a 50. A 50 would have been too big, and especially big in other areas, which we're going to show you in a moment. So if we take a look at some of the details, you'll see that this has two buttons on it. It's got a way to kind of cinch these. My arm sleeves are perfect as far as this is concerned. It doesn't look overly long here, and if I come back here, look at that. It is perfect. Now, I want to talk about sizing first, since we're on the sizing discussion. This is a good shot right here, too. This doesn't look too big. It looks like it's flowing, right? I mean, it's that duster kind of look. It's not something you would see typically today. To me, it has more of a 90s, maybe even 80s look where those longer coats were. I will say from a lengthwise, it's too long for me. When Bond wears his, it goes right to his knee. Mine goes about 1.5 inches beyond my knee, maybe even 2 inches. So I need to get it hemmed, and that's okay. I mean, that's easy enough to do. But take a look at this size 48 if we were to button it. I want to show you something. And this is not a coat that I think I would keep buttoned a lot. It looks a little too studied, but let's say we just buttoned it, you know, just like say 2 buttons, okay? Now watch this. Boom. That's a lot of fabric. That's a lot of room. In fact, if I was to show you that this is not going to be something that is fitted on you, watch this. I'm sure I'm going to get my mic, so apologies. Okay, it could almost be double-breasted. The reason I show you that is do not expect if you button this that this is going to be a fitted coat. I don't think, in fact I know, it's not supposed to be fitted. It's supposed to be kind of billowy and flowing, and you know, you put your pockets in here, you can kind of just do one of these things. I mean, this is a fashion trench. I mean, think about it as this is a fashionable coat, something a little bit different. I mean, you in the wild could even do one of these things where you kind of pop the collar and give it a little bit of volume on the top. I could see people doing that, and it kind of frames the neck and the face nicely. That's just the thing. And by the way, what I've tried to do, just from an authenticity standpoint, is to pair this with some of the correct things. Now, I do not have the correct watch. I'm wearing my Casino Royale Planet Ocean, not the No Time to Die Omega. Don't have it yet. The Rag and Bone Henley that you see Bond in a lot. He's got a pair of black Massimo Alba wench cords, just like the gray ones he wears in Matera. I don't have those yet because they ran out. So here's to hoping they make more. I've got a belt on. I don't think he has a belt on in there, but it didn't feel finished. And he's got some sort of boots. Who knows what kind of boots, but I just put on a pair of, you know, similar type of boots. So that's kind of how I paired my outfit. If I really wanted to get a little bit fun, maybe, just maybe, I could take my Varnays and just pair them with it and have a little bit more fun. Boing. But nah, this is all about the coat today. So let me show you something about the back, because we have to show you how the back fits. Here's the 48 again. It fits perfectly. It's not going to bind at all, but it doesn't also look too baggy. In other words, I would have Steve the tailor hem this a little bit to get it a little bit shorter. In fact, I will be having him do that. But I don't think I would have him take in the coat. That kind of defeats the purpose of that kind of, you know, fashion swishiness. If you're just walking down the street, let's see if we can do a street walk. It didn't sound right, but you know what I mean. So if I'm just walking down the street, you know, you're kind of like just doing this thing. So you want it to be kind of open and a little unstudied. This isn't supposed to be wrapped up. I think you might look a little bit strange if it was all done up and things like that. This is more of a casual coat. And we've got to talk about the elephant in the room, because a lot of you are going through this thought process right now. This is a statement piece. This is not a Harrington. This is not a simple jacket that you're going to grab and throw on, or a polo, a blue polo, where it just blends in perfectly into the wild. No, you wear something like this, and it's going to call out to people. I mean, you will be a little bit more of a focus just because it is something different. It is that kind of duster-like thing. And I think that scene in the trailer that you see that Danielle and I tried to recapture badly, where Nomi pulls up in the Aston Martin, is very indicative of that like dusty road Western type of look. It's supposed to look like that. So this is going to create that if you wear this in the real world in the wild. I'm actually okay with that. I live in the Northeast. I go to New York a lot. I mean, all these types of fashions are accepted. You got to get that into your mindset. Are you okay with that? If you are, then great. How would I rate this? So at first, with the pockets, I was going to rate it a 90%. I was throwing 10% off for the pocket placement. 95% of the people out there wouldn't know, oh, look at the pocket placement, it's way off. But we know, right? We love screen accuracy. But I'm going to give it another 5% off for the button size. So I would say that this reissued raincoat is 85% screen accurate. 85% screen accurate. So here's what you need to do now. You need to actually roll through your mind, is that screen accurate enough? Only you can answer that. For me, clearly it was. I wound up getting this and I'm happy with it. And once I get it hemmed, you know, because I'm not a tall guy, I'm, you know, 5'9" on a good day when the wind is kind of blowing up against me. I want as much screen accuracy, but it's not enough to throw me off. I'm not going to be walking around grumbling like, oh damn it, it's not screen accurate in the pockets. I mean, listen, would I wanted the pockets to be screen accurate? Yes. Come on, let's shoot the elephant in the room. Is that the thing? Gorilla in the room, 800-pound gorilla? There's so many cliches. And these I'm going to try to cure. I'm going to ask them if they have smaller buttons, and I'm back up to 90% screen accuracy. So at 90%, I'm going to be real happy with this coat. So this isn't just about the outside of the jacket. We've got to show you some of the other details. Now, take a look at, coming in close, but there's a reason, these buttons. These buttons are fantastic. They're using the same buttons as the ones that they used from the same season. So the buttons are the same. They've got this kind of, let me show that again real quick because we got some nice ambient light. You see that kind of modeling that's going on with the Massimo Alba name on them. That's just like in the film, so good on them. But let's show you the inside. Here we go. My battery pack on my sound thing is coming off, but that's okay. This is like real world. All right, so here's the inside. You've got that wonderful tag. You've got a little bit of lining around the arms, but other than that, take a look. This is an unlined jacket. You do, thankfully, have a pocket where you could put your name if you so desire. Here's what it's made out of. And the washing instructions, which be careful when you wash it. So this is a 100% cotton and made in Italy. So this is your open pocket over here. You know, quick release, get in and out. And over here, you've got a slightly more secure button. So you've got this, and there is a button underneath it. Button, who's got the button? They do, on the inside. And you can see how the rest of this is very unstructured, which makes it Toro, incredibly light. That's why it's flowing all around like this. So let me put this back on. And get it at E. That's the other thing too. I mean, we never talk about like on and off, but because the arms are lined, it effortlessly, talk David, goes on and off. It's great. I can shoot the cuffs. Yes, I can, even with a Henley, because that's what I'm trying to do. And there you go. So here we are. We're up close again. Love the collar, by the way. I love, you know, the stitching and that fine detail that we all look for. All right, everybody, I would also like to thank Massimo Alba for all their cooperation, all their communication. Alessandro over there, who does the communication with the Bond fans, he is the man. He has communicated through pandemics, issues. He helps with sizing. Their customer service is second to none. You saw the packaging. It is fantastic. So I'm excited to get this. I actually had less reservations about this jacket than getting the sloop suit. And now I love the sloop suit. You know how I feel about that. You saw my, my review on that. But can't thank Massimo Alba enough for that. You've got to make a choice that this is right for you. Tosca's not for everybody, but that's why we do these reviews. So you could take a look at them in detail. All right, at this point, we'll just have to see, hopefully in November, where this jacket falls and how big of a role it actually plays in the sartorial nature of Bond in No Time to Die. But for now, maybe I'll go take a walk in the woods and give this a real trial. This has been David Zaritsky for the Bond Experience. We'll see you real soon. Take care. Watch out for flying motorcycles and, you know, things like that. Thanks for watching this episode. If you want to be up on the latest from the Bond experience, just click on this subscribe and subscribe to our channel. You're going to get all the latest and greatest information, plus some exclusive content. And by the way, speaking of content, here's something especially for you, just because we know you. Talk to you soon.